Story 1, the friend who borrowed my money and paid the price. Back when I was 20, I shared an apartment with my buddy Jake. We'd been friends since high school, the type of friendship where you trust someone blindly. I helped him move, covered for him when he missed class, even spotted him cash when he was broke. One Friday night, Jake said he was short on rent and needed just a small loan. "I swear, bro, I'll pay you back next week," he said. I lent him $300, not a small amount for a broke student. Next week came, then another. Every time I brought it up, he had an excuse. "Dude, I'm waiting for my paycheck. My card's locked right now. I'll send it tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. After a month, I started noticing he had new shoes, new earbuds, even takeout every night. He wasn't broke, he was lying. So, I came up with a plan. I told him I'd gotten a part-time job that paid in cash and that I was saving up to buy a PS5. He got interested instantly. "Oh man, I've been wanting one too," he said. "We could split it and share." Perfect. A week later, I told him I'd found a guy selling a PS5 cheap, but he only took cash up front. Jake begged me to let him join in. I said okay, but he needed to pay his half, $350, before we met the seller. He hesitated but didn't want to miss out. The next day, he handed me $350 in cash. I met the seller, aka myself, came back home, and told Jake the guy never showed up. "Damn, man," I said, acting frustrated. "He ghosted me. I'll try to get the money back." Jake was furious, at the imaginary seller, of course. He even went on a rant about how people can't be trusted. I just smiled and said, "Yeah, crazy world." I waited 2 weeks, then told him I was moving out. When I packed, he asked if I'd ever get his money back. "Maybe someday," I said. Like you were going to pay me back someday. The look on his face was priceless, pure realization. Did I ever feel bad? Not really. I called it interest with irony.
Story 2, my best friend and my ex, and the sweetest payback. I never thought my best friend and my girlfriend would betray me at the same time. But life has a way of humbling you when you least expect it. I've been dating this girl, Maya, for almost 2 years. She was funny, kind, and she got along really well with my best friend, Ryan. Too well, apparently. At first, I didn't notice anything strange. We were all in the same friend group, hanging out, watching movies, playing games. But slowly things started feeling off. Ryan would accidentally show up whenever I was with Maya. He'd laugh a little too hard at her jokes. She started texting him more than me, just memes, she said. Then one night, while she was in the shower, I saw a notification pop up on her phone. Ryan read hard. "I miss you too." My stomach dropped. I scrolled up. The whole conversation was there. Flirting, late-night messages, and then, the part that broke me, a text from the day before. "He's so clueless. I'll come over when he's asleep." That was all I needed to see. I didn't confront them right away. Instead, I started planning. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It just has to hurt where it counts. I acted normal for a week. Smiled, laughed, went out with him. Then I asked Ryan for a small favor. "Hey man, can you help me move some stuff next Saturday? I'm cleaning out my storage unit." He agreed. Perfect. Saturday came. While he was busy helping me move boxes, I'd already texted Maya from his phone. Something sweet like, "Can't wait to see you tonight," face blowing a kiss. I knew she'd show up. When Ryan and I got back, I told him to grab some drinks while I parked the car. Instead, I drove around the block and waited. 5 minutes later, I saw Maya walking up to his place, dressed up, smiling. I parked, grabbed my phone, and started recording. Ryan opened the door. The moment he saw her, his face turned white. "Wait, why are you?" "You texted me," she said. "You said to come." I stepped out from the corner. Still recording. "Yeah, I sent that text. Didn't expect you to prove me right so fast, though." They froze. No excuses, no words, just guilt. I walked away and uploaded the clip to our private friend group chat. Within an hour, everyone knew. Ryan lost his social circle. Maya moved cities after the semester ended. Me? I blocked them both, joined a new gym, and started focusing on myself. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't destruction, it's exposure with a smile.
Story 3, the friend who sabotaged my final project, and how I turned the tables. It was the last semester of college, and I was grinding hard to finish everything on time. I had this big final project for my major, and the grade would determine whether I graduated with honors. It was a group project, and I was partnered with Ryan, a guy I'd been friends with for a couple of years. At first, I thought we'd make a good team. He was a bit lazy, but I always picked up the slack, so I figured I'd just do the bulk of the work, like I had for other group projects. We met a few times to plan and discuss the project, but every time, Ryan would bail last minute. He'd be like, "Bro, I have some stuff going on, I'll catch up later." It didn't worry me too much at first. I was used to handling things on my own, and I figured I could carry the weight. Then, the week before the project was due, I realized he hadn't done a single thing. I checked our shared drive, nothing from him. I texted him. No response. I called him, and he picked up, sounding groggy. "Oh yeah, I'll finish my part tonight, don't worry." But I was worried. I spent the entire night finalizing the presentation, adding all the data, making sure everything was perfect. When the day came to present, I was feeling pretty good about it. But Ryan was nowhere to be found. I sent him a message, asking if he was coming. He replied. I'm not feeling well, man. You got this, right?" I was furious, but I went through with the presentation anyway. I barely slept, and now I was stuck doing the entire thing alone. As I was finishing my section, I noticed something. Ryan had edited my slides, not just by adding random info, but he'd added incorrect, misleading data that completely undermined everything I'd worked on. It was sabotage. And I realized it was intentional. When the professor called on me to explain the incorrect data, I didn't panic. Instead, I just took a deep breath and owned it. I explained the issues clearly and showed how Ryan's contributions didn't align with the project goals. But I didn't stop there. I had recorded all of our group meetings, including the parts where Ryan had promised to help but kept skipping out. I emailed the recordings to the professor, with a detailed explanation of how Ryan had intentionally sabotaged the project. The professor called me in later that week. Apparently, Ryan had been known for doing this kind of thing, and they were now investigating him for academic dishonesty. The best part? Ryan failed the class because of his actions, and I still got a solid A for the project. But that wasn't the real revenge. A few months later, I heard from some of his other friends that Ryan had been trying to drop out and had to reapply to graduate. His reputation took a massive hit. Meanwhile, I graduated with honors, and my work on the project was featured as an example in the department's showcase. When I ran into him at graduation, he tried to apologize, but I just shrugged and said, "You didn't think I'd catch on, did you?"
Story 4. The roommate who stole my laptop and got himself caught. When I moved into my college apartment, I thought I'd lucked out with my new roommate Tyler. He was chill, funny, and we got along right away. We played games together, studied side by side, even ordered late-night pizza runs like brothers. But a few months in, things started to change. Tyler began borrowing my stuff without asking. Chargers, headphones, even clothes. It annoyed me, but I let it slide because I didn't want to start drama. Then one weekend, I went home to visit my parents. When I came back, my laptop was gone. The same laptop I used for all my projects, worth more than $1,000. Tyler claimed he had no idea where it went. "Bro, maybe you misplaced it or someone broke in." He sounded too calm. I checked the door, no forced entry. Windows locked. And then, I noticed something. His cheap, old laptop was missing too. He'd lost that one last week. Suspicious timing. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I acted dumb and said I'd file a report with campus security. That's when he panicked slightly, just a twitch. But I caught it. Later that night, while he was in the shower, I borrowed his spare USB drive that was lying on the desk. I plugged it into my console to check something, and boom, guess what was inside? A folder labeled Work Files that contained my class projects, my essays, and screenshots from my laptop desktop. So I knew he had it. I copied everything, then emailed myself proof. Next, I set up a little trap. The next morning, I told him I had to meet the security office to check the CCTV footage. His face went pale. He left for class early, didn't come back till night. When he did, guess what? My laptop was sitting on my desk. No note, no explanation, just there, like nothing happened. But I wasn't done. I reported it anyway, not to security but to our student conduct office, attaching the proof from his USB. Turns out, he'd been caught before for borrowing items from other roommates. This time, they didn't go easy. He was expelled from the dorms and put on academic probation for theft. When he came to pack his things, he wouldn't even look me in the eye. "You didn't have to go that far," he muttered. "You didn't have to steal my laptop," I replied. The day he left, I locked my door, sat at my desk, and smiled. Justice doesn't always need revenge. Sometimes, it just needs proof.
Story 5. My best friend tried to ruin my relationship, so I let him ruin himself. I've known Liam since high school. He was the type of guy everyone liked, funny, confident, and good at talking his way out of anything. We stayed close after graduation, even when I started dating Sophie, my girlfriend of almost a year. At first, Liam seemed happy for us. He'd hang out with both of us, crack jokes, and act like the cool third wheel. But over time, things started to feel off. He'd tease me in front of Sophie, saying things like, "You sure you can keep up with her, man?" Or he'd bring up embarrassing stories from my past, all while pretending it was just friendly banter. Sophie told me she felt uncomfortable around him, but I brushed it off. "He's just joking," I said. I wish I had listened sooner. One night, Sophie called me crying. She said Liam had messaged her on Instagram, saying I was cheating on her, that he had proof, and that I'd been talking badly about her behind her back. Of course, none of it was true. I confronted him the next day. He denied it all. She must have misunderstood, bro. I was just looking out for her. That's when I realized he wasn't just jealous, he wanted her. So, I decided to play along. I told Sophie what I planned to do, and she was totally on board. For the next week, we acted distant in public. No more holding hands, fewer messages, no meetups. Liam noticed right away and swooped in like a vulture. He started flirting openly, texting her things like, "You deserve someone who actually appreciates you." One night, I texted him pretending to be heartbroken. "She's ignoring me, man. I think she's done." He replied instantly. "Don't stress it, bro. Some people just aren't meant to be." That was all I needed. The next day, Sophie invited him over, pretending she wanted to talk about her breakup. I waited in the next room, recording everything. He showed up with flowers, acting like a hero, and started talking about how he's always had feelings for her. That's when I walked out. "You always had feelings for my girlfriend, huh?" His face drained of color. "Bro, it's not what it looks like." "Oh, it's exactly what it looks like." He tried to apologize, but I'd already uploaded the audio clip to our friend group chat. Within hours, everyone knew what he'd done. Liam became an outcast overnight, nobody wanted to hang out with a backstabber. Sophie and I worked things out, and honestly, that whole mess made us stronger. Sometimes, you don't have to ruin someone. You just have to let them expose themselves, and hit record.